What's going on, guys? It's Geek Stand Up Room. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Suicide Squad. And The Suicide Squad, this one is directed by James Gunn, and he was the person that was involved in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Zack Snyder was also involved. I think he was like a co-producer, or was the producer of The Suicide Squad. And not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised in a way to see this guy, because I didn't actually know he was involved with this movie. But it's kind of decent to see that, he was brought on to do The Suicide Squad. And I don't actually know if The Suicide Squad was made, or at least on the table of being made and stuff like that. So that's when people are brought in, people are hired, people are in mind to be hired for this movie. I don't know if he was in mind before, Zack Snyder's Justice League. If I was to compare this movie to the last one, it's a definite, and I mean a definite improvement. You have two pretty decent people. Like, I know James Gunn is known for, like, he got kicked off like Guardians of the Galaxy because of his, like, fairly odd tweets. I don't exactly know roughly what that's about. I just know that he got kicked off of the Guardians of the Galaxy just because of some odd tweets. Something like that. And he is still a good director and shit like that. He's still decent. He's a sick guy for movies, making movies, putting his shit into a movie to make this film happen. And Zack Snyder, if you don't know who this guy is, you're living under a rock. Zack Snyder, he was the person that originally made the Justice League before another guy stepped in and fucked it up. So that's how Zack Snyder's Justice League got created. Like, everyone was saying, hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And then, now that Release the Snyder Cut was released, it's now restart the Snyderverse. And I don't know, and that's why I'm thinking I'm not 100% sure the Suicide Squad was in mind or something. It would have been obviously after the Suicide Squad movie, like the first one, but you know what I mean. So all around, the movie was just like, it was not something I expected. It was a movie I was kind of expecting to be light-hearted and kind of an 80s feel, which the movie did have. It did have an 80s feel, and the reason why I say 80s feel is because, like, James Gunn is kind of, I guess, that type of person to want to do, like, an 80s feel for a movie like Suicide Squad. And the reason why it's an 80s feel to this is because of the other comic adaptations, like the other comic stuff of the Suicide Squad, like the 80s comics of the Suicide Squad. And that's why this had a 80s feel. And this isn't a spoiler, by the way. It's just kind of me speaking my opinion. It might not feel 80s. It might not have an 80s feel to you. It might have a 70s feel to you. You do have no idea. But so that wasn't actually a spoiler. It's just my opinion. And so, yeah, people have not liked that difference. People have not liked the fact that it's kind of an 80s, 70s type of feel in this movie, in the Suicide Squad, and because people didn't really do their research. They didn't honestly think to do their research on why this is an 80s type of way. And that's the reason why I said that's not a spoiler, is because James Gunn had an interview with the interview and he was on about it, so it's not a spoiler. There was some aspects of the movie that I think could be better. Like, some characters, I think, a room for improvement. I wish some characters had more room for character development. in a sense. Like, I'm not going to say which characters, why. I'm not going to say which characters, but if you go and watch the movie and you watch it for yourself, you will know why and which characters I am on about. Because it just, those characters could be better. And that's the main kind of, I guess, reason for me giving this movie a 9 out of 10. Because overall, it's a fucking sick movie. And it's definitely in my top 10. And by the way, guys, if you want me to do a top 10 video of my favourite movies, let me know and I'll try and do it for your faces. I'm actually going to be editing this on my phone because currently I've got no way of editing apart from Power Director on my phone. And yeah, I can't pay for anything else. I can't pay for Filmora and stuff now. So that's a bummer. But it is what it is. Yeah, overall, this movie was fucking dope. Like, I loved Harley Quinn. I loved King Shark. I loved Bloodsport. I loved Pete Davidson's character. Like, his character was fucking funny. Like, obviously, you're going to expect, like, a comedy type of feel to Pete Davidson's character. And that's, you know, that's a good thing. Because, obviously, Pete Davidson's a comedian. Pete Davidson knows a lot of people. He can reach out to a lot of people. But that's besides the point. Because of him being a comedian, you're expecting some sort of, like, comedy type of stuff with his character, which is, you know, what I expected when I went into this movie. I didn't really expect much of his character, because obviously he's not an actor in any way. He's mainly a comedian from what I know. He's mainly a comedian. So I didn't actually go into this expecting a whole lot from him. Yeah, so like, if you compare Pete Davidson to someone like John Cena, who is an actor, like, he started off from being in, like, wrestling and all that crap, and is just an, you know, is a good person, and is, like, a good actor as well. So all that, like, if you compare Pete to Thingy, like, Pete's a comedian. He's mainly a comedian. John Cena's a fucking actor, you know? It's like, do you see where I'm coming from? Like, people will be doing, those two people, Pete Davidson and John, will be doing two different things. One might, you know, do more than the other, and, you know, you just won't really expect much out of someone who was mainly a comedian and was being hired for a movie. Like, he did good for his role, don't get me wrong, but, you know, just a round of applause for both Zack Snyder and James Gunn. Just, let's get it. And so, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Smash a like, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on for more. If you want more, share this video, share my channel. Make sure you watch my live streams. I'm going to be live streaming Optimus Die 3. Going to be live streaming The Witcher 3. And I've got a game in mind that I want to do. But it's not out yet, so I can't play it. Yeah. So, I shall see you lovely people in the next one. Goodbye.